Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining today's session with our group, the Farm of EXP Invest. And we are here to how I analyze trend lines, how I look at the momentum indicator, the volume indicator, how I do the Elliott count, and how all of those things combined together help draw insights. Now, recently, the market has been very volatile, and there's a lot of opportunity in the market when such volatility spikes. But the problem is that with such volatility spiking, a lot of fear also gets spiked. So this is going to be a recorded session, and we have some guests with us on Zoom as well. So once I'm done with my presentation, we will address the questions our attending guests on Zoom who are part of my Telegram. So if you also want to join the webinar on Zoom next time, make sure that you are connecting with me on my Telegram channel. So now let's get started with our screen share. So this is Schaeffler, as you can see, and on Schaeffler, this is the weekly time frame of the stock. So this RSI is 25 period, and this is the volume. So we'll start with drawing our trend lines. We use a maiden method of drawing trend line, or the cloning method. So for that, we'll use the most prominent peaks or bottoms. In this case, I think the peaks are very prominent to me. And we will just draw the first trend line, making sure the chart's in logarithmic setting, and we'll go on cloning by pressing the control button. We'll keep on cloning the chart until major price peaks and troughs have been covered. So here now on the daily time frame, as you can see, we are right now experiencing an upward journey. And before we get into more discussion of the recent time frame or the recent price action on the daily time frame itself, I want us to observe this RSI activity. So taking it from a little bit past, what I can see that this stock has very bullish underlying trend unfolding, and that is very evident by this massive RSI positive range which is being respected by the stock. Now you will see that whenever the stock, so if I have to call out the personality of the stock, I would say that I can see it moved up 40% in 128 days, and then it moved up around 60% in 190 days, and then 70% in around 5 months, and then again 75% in about 7-8 months, and then 111 in about 4 months. So it starts slow, but it really picks up in pace. And right now, if you again draw a Fibonacci on this entire upside rally, what we can see is that this stock has taken a nice little 23.6% correction and started to create new lifetime highs. So here it has given a breakout. Now this point where it gave the breakout, this is very important. We need to study this. So I'm going to draw some vertical lines, and I'm going to observe the volume. On the daily time frame itself, the volume is telling me that, hey, this breakout or this rally occurred against pretty good volumes. So initially when the consolidation came, we saw the volume dry up. The good thing is that when the rally picked up again, the volume also picked up pretty strongly. So this point where the breakout was confirmed, we can see that the rally picked up really strongly. So what does this tell us? That this uptrend that we are experiencing still has a lot of juice. When are we experiencing decrease in volume against decrease in price? Again, when the price has started to increase, the volume has started to pick up despite of this massive volatility. Now the big decline that we experienced yesterday, we need to study that. For that, we'll go one time frame lower on the 75 and the 15-minute. But all in all, what the daily time frame has given us so far, that number one, the stock has breached the lifetime high. Number two, it has done that with very strong volumes. Number three, the RSI is in positive range shift and extremely bullish. So everything on this chart looks pretty bullish right now. Now coming to the most recent price volatility. So this is yesterday's price action, and what I can see is from the top that it has already forged. Now what a beauty. The stock has already shown a bit of a negative divergence on the 75-minute time frame before it took this tiny correction. And up to where did it take the correction? Exactly where it gave the breakout. So this is a very good entry point. What looks very attractive or what looks very doable here is setting an alert or a GTT buy order at this particular point. So I'm just going to make this line completely opaque so you can see this white line 3880 becomes very attractive. Why this becomes very attractive and why a viable option, I will tell you just now. So you can see this little bit of volume activity here. So this volume activity on the MACD histograms, it's very clear that the volume has increased when this price decline has occurred up to this point. So now because we've seen one price decline with more volumes, with high volumes, we can expect that a little bit more decline will come, and this becomes 3880 becomes a very attractive support zone for this stock. The zone is actually 3700 to around 3900. So this becomes very attractive. Now let's zoom out a little bit on the 75-minute time frame and assess what is going on in the charts. So this is the period of consolidation that we've already noticed. And during this period of consolidation, just as any stock or index does, here also was giving a little bit of mixed signals, and it was giving us mixed range. What do I mean by mixed range? When it was rising up, it was very well breaching the level of 70 and going up. When it was coming down, it was also very well breaching the level of 40 and retesting the level of 30, sometimes even reaching the level of 30. So this is a little bit of mixed signals. When did things change? Things changed somewhere over here. So here it has given a nice little positive divergence somewhere around 21st February 24, and it has given a massive breakout. Now, since the breakout, I would say it is maintaining a nice positive range on the 75-minute time frame. And this little bit of violation, because this is just one spike in a very sentimental move on a very sentimental day, I will disregard happily. So 75-minute time frame all in all looks pretty good. One potential good entry zone is 3700 to 3900. And next question is, where would the stop loss then be? Naturally, if this is the buying zone or the major support zone, the stop loss also needs to be somewhere right below that, because we don't want to take unnecessary risk on our position. So considering this is the buying zone that we are considering and the major support, also the breakout zone, if the stock manages to break below this, then we no longer want to risk our capital. So by that logic, around the level of 3650 or 3630 actually becomes a very good potential stop loss for this position. Now, let's go down one time frame further to the 15-minute time frame. And what really stands out on the 15-minute time frame is that this stock has already given a positive divergence on the 15-minute time frame also. And on the 15-minute time frame, we are able to see the volume activity more clearly. And what are we seeing? Again, the volume activity is suggesting the same mixed signal that we're seeing all the way from daily to 75. The previous rally experienced very good price pickup, except for the last bit of leg, which was also accompanied by the occurrence of a small negative divergence in the 15-minute time frame. Fair enough, the stock declined around 18% in just 8 days, including today and yesterday. Today also, the stock has given a lot of volatility in its movements, and this last leg of rally has not seen a lot of volumes. So we can expect a slight dip and purchase here. Now, another reason why I would strongly recommend this as a potential entry point and not to purchase the stock right away is because the stop loss will become too big. 12% or 13% stop loss is a little bit too big, but if we can capture the stock at a lower price, the stop loss gets reduced by almost half, making it way more attractive. So the next question is, where should my stop loss, like you've given me the stop loss, you've given me the buy range, where should my target be? Now, based on the trend line analysis we've done so far, I'm going to make this key trend line a little bit thicker for you to see. And this, I believe, is where the next target for this stock should somewhere. So I would expect this stock to go and test at least this trend line. So a conservative target for this stock would be the level of 5730, right at this green line. So this is what I've done. Now, I also have a alert set at the level of 4736, where I want to be notified that the stock has crossed its resistance level. If that happens without my buy GTT getting triggered, maybe I will prefer to buy the stock immediately with a revised stop loss. Don't know yet. When the resistance gets breached, that is when I'm going to take the decision after follow on objective analysis. Never pre-plan your executions. Always take your decisions based on plans, but never pre-plan the execution itself. Make plans, but adapt as the market adapts. So this is Schaeffler for you. Now, if you look at the stock from a long-term perspective, it also looks very attractive. From a long-term perspective, I would definitely expect the stock to breach above this resistance or this target of 5730. And if I gave you the risk-reward ratio on this, so the reward is around 47% or even 50%, and the risk would be 6% if this setup succeeds. That is a big if. But this looks pretty attractive given the current market scenario. So we will move on with the stock queries of our members who filled up the form, the stock request form. Now, in the meanwhile, as the stock query form loads, I will request all the members who've joined us today to connect with me over Telegram. Doing so is extremely easy. All you have to do is open Telegram on your phones, just like this, and just search Trade with Kavita. I'm also pasting the link in the chat with you. Now, mind you, there are a lot of fake channels running with my name. So it's not Trade with Kavita 3201, or it's just Trade with Kavita. They are all copycats, and I've tried confronting them. They are all very toxic people. So I unfortunately don't have any way of dealing with this. The reason why you want to be part of my Telegram channel is predominantly that on this Telegram channel, I share daily market outlook, daily market commentary, which can help you understand which direction the market is taking in a very objective and unbiased manner. Also, you'll be able to join the Zoom event from the next Friday onwards. Now, if you have queries which you'd like to ask, then just hop over to expinvest.in/stock request. The link is on my screen. The link is also in the comments. Fill up this form, and as we come to your name, your query will be answered. Fastest finger first, right? Now, the first question is from Srinivas Reddy Ji. He's asking for analysis of Ashoka Buildcon. Not very bullish on the stocks. To be honest, stocks like Ashoka Buildcon, they are very seasonal in nature, and I expect for the trend line analysis itself is suggesting the stock has rallied quite a bit. From the bottom, it has already given a 2.240% rally and another 175% rally. And more importantly, the momentum indicator on weekly is bearish, on daily is also bearish, on 75 is also very bearish. This is not a time to make a fresh position at all in Ashoka Buildcon. In fact, if you are holding this stock, this is the time when you want to book your profit and get out of this stock. Now, for Pranav, let's move on. Indian hotels. So we look at Indian hotels, IHCL for Pranav. 8 is his holding price. I don't think this is a very good stock for holding. I think your capital can do a lot better holding this since Q4 result. My entry price is 5.9. Pranav, I think you need to mention the right name of the stock. This doesn't look like the right stock based on your commentary. See, this is why I request all the members that when you're filling in the form, fill in the proper ticker name, because you fill in random things. For Jugal, we are looking at HG Infra. He's bought it at 50 and he thinks that current market price of this stock is around 5832, fine, 24th May. And it has given him over 61% returns over the past few months. But whether should he hold, sell or add more? Let's check it out. So here I can see Infra. Now just to take a bit of a, because I'm not really aware of the stock. So this is industrial service engineering earnings, pretty good earning numbers is what I am seeing. The stock looks quite strong from a technical as well as fundamental perspective based on the quick overview that I was able to do. And I think from a long-term perspective, since you're already holding the stock at pretty good levels, I think you should definitely continue to hold the stock. I do not think it is going to come further down. Now for the other viewers, I don't recommend a fresh entry at this stage. But for those who are holding the stock like Jugal, I think this is a pretty good stock to continue to hold. Now the stop loss will have to be a little bit big, around 1204. But I think this stock can give a new lifetime high very soon. It has a lot of headroom to grow. And I think from where it is right now, it can go first up to, it can cross 2000. And if it sustains the rally, it can also climb as high as 2800 or 3000 in the next couple of years. So this continues to look pretty attractive as a long-term investment. And here it gave breakout, and ever since the breakout, every rally has been against very sweet, very strong volume. So I would expect the rally over here to absolutely continue. And let's just draw a quick Fibonacci retreat. It's taken around 38.2% rally, decline and gone. It actually looks pretty attractive even for fresh entries, but only for the long term, because like you can see, the stop loss is pretty big here. So 15-16% is a conservative stop loss, and the conservative target itself is 45, which makes the risk reward ratio quite attractive. So this stock looks pretty good for short term, so for the long term for everybody. Now look at SBCL for Dhruv Mehta. Now SB, what is this looking like? What does this tell? I can see the 61.8% correction is acting as very strong support on the stock repeatedly, and it is hovering right close to that. So obviously the stop loss is going to be exactly where I have judged in the previous session, around 400 and roughly. And what does the RSI suggest? The RSI suggests that the stock is in a bull range, but it is going through consolidation. Now, if you can continue to hold this stock for long term, it does continue to look pretty attractive. You have a very reasonable stop loss without taking unnecessary massive risk. All right, I'm going to redraw these trend lines because they don't seem to be doing too well. So this is the logarithmic chart. That's what we always want to use. So this 61.8 level is acting as very good support. Now, because the underlying trend is strong, I wish the volumes were a little bit better. See, the only reason I tell the stock is looking attractive because it's so close to its major support. But that being said, the overall volume profile here is not that attractive. This looks like a slightly illiquid stock to me, which makes me uncomfortable. But I'm also observing a lot of accumulation around the support zone. So a conservative target that I would set on the stock would be to basically retest this high. So from the current market price of 500, your stop loss would be around 13%, target of around 16%. Since you're already holding this, you may continue to hold. Let me just take another look at what you said about your entry level. You want to buy above 544. See, if you want to buy, I think there are way better options available in the market than SBCL. So I think I would recommend you against it, because even though I've said that a very conservative target, say it's able to go back up all the way to retest the high, then 12 versus 43, then it makes a pretty good investment case. But little illiquid, which means your transaction cost is going to be higher because the bid-ask spread is usually larger for illiquid stocks, which means more cost. And also Sometimes the stock can turn. If you just look at the 3-minute time frame, I can see a lot of jagged movements, which means that the stock does have a bit of a liquidity issues and lots of spikes, which increases the risk of stock being operated, something that you don't want to deal with when there are better options in the market. Now let's move on to the next stock. Ultra Cement. For Aman, you want to know the targets. Let's try to give you the targets on this. Broad trend, from a very broad trend perspective, this stock looks quite bullish and continues to move in a very bullish fashion. And I can see that this was a nice little consolidation it took. And from here, it's pretty much started a fresh new rally. Now, this rally has been corrected about 50%. And to me, it looks like the stock is already ready for the next leg of rally, even though it has taken strong resistance over there. But I think with your stop loss set at this low of 93.93, this may be a good stock for long term. Wait, do I want to bite my words there? Because let's look at the 75-minute time frame. So there was a negative divergence, but the negative divergence has been met here. Stock has gone back to the bull range and is respecting the level of 40 despite overall weakness in the market. So this, unfortunately, 6% is not that big, a little big for a stock like Ultra Cement. But that being said, I think if I had to assess what targets to give you, I would use the Fibonacci extension tool here, and I would expect at least similar length of this rally to get achieved again. So the target would be around 11,600, which I think is a pretty attractive risk reward ratio. So the target, as you asked, is around 11,630 for you, and you can expect to hold this stock for anywhere between 6 months to 1 year in the future. So with that, let's move on. We've got labs. So we are looking at the stock Jyoti Labs. See, what have we got here? We've got way too many trend lines that I'm comfortable with. So this looks like a very nice little upward channel. Now the concern is that the stock is all touched the upward channel, even though the RSI on the weekly has been super bullish all through the end point, which means the momentum has been pretty consistent. See, Jyoti Labs, based on the last time, what we can see is that even though it achieved this trendline resistance, it kept consolidating and kept going up, which would make it a bit of a slow move, but a sure move. Now, the thing is that in a stock which is destined to be stuck in such a channel, instead of holding this for the long term, I think this would actually look a lot more attractive for repeated swing trading. So my strategy would be to set an alert on this support trend line, and whenever the stock comes to test this support trend line, maybe buy, and then also set an alert on this resistance trend line, and whenever it tests the resistance trend line, then maybe sell. So right now, as you can see, the stock has already touched the support trend line and given a closing up. Another good thing is that the daily time frames RSI is looking very bullish here, so we can expect bullishness to continue, and naturally a stop loss is going to be this low. We can ignore this tiny little spike here. I don't expect it to get retraced all the way. So now what is the risk reward ratio? Around 13 and upside 22. 28 is the target. Now the problem is that the risk reward ratio is not more than 3. So what I would do, instead of purchasing the stock right now, I would set a buy GTT at the level of 420. From 420, my stop loss gets reduced to around 8.5, and then my target up to the next trend line gets around 6. Now this is very well within my risk reward ratio and becomes a go. So this is the strategy that I would do. So here again on this line, we can set an alert, time to buy, and we are ready to go. So that's for you, Nida. So I hope everybody on Zoom is able to see my screen now, so you can review that from there. And as far as the comments goes, okay, one question has caught my attention, which is from Vansh. He's asking, how valuable is the CMT designation? Now, Vansh, CMT is a very good designation if you want to learn the ins and outs of price action analysis and technical analysis. It's a gold standard in technical analysis globally. I did my CMT when I was 21, and I'm the world's youngest person. And I can tell you that while CMT did not help me land any job as such, it did help me build a career. EXP Invest wouldn't have been around if I hadn't done my CMT. So CMT is very underrated, I would say. It adds a lot of value. It teaches you very applicable skills, but it doesn't have a lot of recognition when it comes to getting jobs. So if getting job is what you want, then go for CFA, not CMT. So we have Aman. He's 17 and he's asking, how can he build a career in trading? So Aman, a career in trading, first of all, requires a significant amount of capital muscle. Now, I remember when I was 19 and I was asking the same question and people were telling me that, and I was feeling very pissed. But now that I'm on the other side, it is true. The reason being that trading is extremely risky. See, when you do a business, if you don't sell, your capital that you've invested can, in the form of inventory go to waste. But at the end of the day, you can still get some value for your inventory. That is not true in trading. If you do it wrong, your capital is going to go away and you're not going to get any value out of it, which means if you are depending on trading for bread and butter, pretty good chance that you might not find any. And that psychological impact can be really daunting. So have at least 1 year of your living expenses as savings, which is not part of your trading capital, and start with acquiring knowledge. Start small, start practicing. Take an intellectual interest in the world of trading and then go forward rather than jumping straight in and going for options and futures. Don't make that mistake. Don't trade options and futures or don't do intraday. Don't be impulsive. Learn what are the mistakes that people are capable of making. Just knowing them will help you avoid them, and obviously you're still going to make them. You're going to make all the rookie mistakes even if you know them, but you will know at least that they are mistakes and not flaws in you, and you can work on them, right? You can learn from them. So read good books and become better by practice, not just by imagination. Let's now move on with the analysis of South Bank again. So to be honest, banking sector overall, I am not very bullish. I have a feeling that banks have already given a pretty big run up without a significant correction. So I would want to see some correction in banks. Earlier today, I was studying the chart of SBIN, and SBIN has taken a pretty big hit in yesterday's big market decline, and it looks like it can continue to decline further. So if SBIN is showing that, naturally, see HDFC Bank chart also I was seeing, and I could only conclude that there are certain key resistance threshold that it needs to close above and sustain. The charts are not very clear. So I have a feeling that banks are probably moving into a bit of a troubled period, and that makes them a little unattractive for at least short-term trading, which I'm interested in. So banks are not my perfect pick right now. And even on the stock of South Bank, I'm not very convinced. See, this last leg of the rally that we saw here, see this rally throughout the last leg of the green candle, we could see volume increasing, and then we saw another leg of rally. But in this leg of rally, towards the end of the rally, you will see the volume started to decline, which is not very encouraging for me personally. So this increasing price against declining volume shows loss of momentum. Now we're already seeing a massive price correction here. So let's see from the last base it forged. It's already breached 61.8. So no, this is not favorable to me. I don't like this and I will avoid South Bank. We have a request from Harshit. He's asking for the analysis of Infosys. Vansh is asking a very good question. He's asking, since the market has crashed, for this market decline, I would use the word crash. I don't use that word lightly. All the technical chart, trend lines, and important levels are now triggered and shifted. What should be done? Looking at the very short-term chart may not give you a lot of insights or may give you biased insights. However, you can still do objective analysis based on volume observations and observe how the momentum is changing now. Moreover, the long-term charts have not been dented so badly, so making calls on the long-term charts can be need of the hour. And if you are a short-term swing trader like me, make very selective bets in the market at this point of time. Be quick in booking your profits. Now, I was doing an analysis of the broad market today from my analyst comment, and it is pretty evident that we can expect a little bit more downside because brief bounce back that we've seen today has not come with a lot of volume participation, which is a significant signal that we might be able to witness a little bit more downside in the market. So that is my opinion. Now, let's take a look at Infosys, and we've got this 5-week chart. Let's draw our trend lines. This looks like a good mirrored line. Let's just adjust that. Now, owning it and setting it there and setting it there. Now we'll have to move to the daily or the weekly time frame, and let's see. This looks like another resistance that I want to cover up for sure. And of course, this support right here, because lots of internal points are getting tested there. See, I'm bullish on the IT sector. That is no secret. I've been talking about it since a few weeks, and I think that Infosys taking pretty solid support at this trend line here. And this consolidation has experienced a little bit of a low volume activity. If we turn to the 75-minute time frame, what I'm seeing is that this tiny bit of upside that we saw experienced good volume. Now, because this entire upside hasn't seen much volume, overall market was pretty let's wait and watch stance today. On Infosys also, what I would suggest is set a buy GTT order at around 1400, wait it out, set your stop loss near this low. So you see how well, despite of the massive volatility, the market, the stock of Infosys has respected its previous low. So 1350 becomes a very natural stop loss at this point of time. And this, by the way, is attractive for long term. Short term can be a little tricky in Infosys currently. So from the recommended GTT entry order that I'm asking you to set, your stop loss would be around 4% and your target can be around can be around, let's see. So if I draw a trend line here and then here, so based on this upward trending trend line, the first target would be around 1800, and if that is breached, then the second target would be around 2100 on the stock. From a long term perspective, however, I would expect Infosys to rally all the way to this resistance trend line. I'm going to mark it in green, and I am also going to increase its thickness for you to see. I think this is where it can easily rally up to. This is around 2700, so that's a pretty significant target for you that I'm giving. Suman is asking, do I give monthly, quarterly option strategy? Suman, me, right? I don't do any FNO, and I don't recommend my members or my viewers to indulge in FNO trading. It looks attractive for few days, but when it takes away not just your past profits, but also parts of your capital. So if you don't have the risk appetite for that kind of event, don't option trade. I personally don't have that kind of risk appetite. So with that, we come to the end of this session. Thank you so much for joining in. I will see you again on Friday in the Market Outlook series. Until then, namaste.